minutes ago, we were talking about decisions. Now we're going to talk about something that can't be chosen. Family. You cannot choose family, can you? I'll see you in a moment. Family. Everybody has one, right? We need to talk about family in English, of course. In this lesson, you're going to learn some vocabulary about family. Do you remember when we talked about irregular plurals? We saw the word child and its plural, children. Children has two meanings, daughters and sons, and girls and boys in general. Remember that the I in child and children are pronounced in different ways. Let's have a look at the word daughter. When you see it written, it's a bit scary, isn't it? A good tip to write it correctly is to memorize these three consonants, G, H, T. There are many other English words that contain these three consonants together. Night, wait, ate. So if you think G-H-T, you'll feel more confident when you write them. The word daughter is pronounced with a long O at the beginning, like door. The GH is silent. The T is an English T, and the R is silent too. Daughter, daughter. Keep practicing this word, daughter. It's a tricky one. I'm sure you already know some vocabulary about family from films and TV. Like this sentence, I pronounce you husband and wife. Something you'd hear in a wedding. Or the famous, I'm your father. Let's talk about the in-laws. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, parents-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. Those two words, in-law, refer to the family of your husband or wife. Let's see some examples. My mother-in-law is retired. She gets on very well with her sister-in-law. My father-in-law is playing with the children. I spent Christmas with my in-laws.
In English, when we talk about brothers and sisters in general, we can say brothers and sisters or siblings. Imagine someone asks, do you have any brothers or sisters? If you answer, I have 3 brothers, you are referring to 3 men. If you say, I have 3 brothers and sisters, or I have 3 siblings, you mean you have both sisters and brothers, women and men.
Let's talk about possessives now and something called the Saxon genitive or the possessive S. The structure goes as follows. The person who possesses plus apostrophe S plus the object or subject possessed. Let's see some examples. My daughter's birthday. Bob's friend. The dog's toy. Argentina's national football team. We don't use this method with objects. We just use of, like this. The reception of the hotel. The cable of the telephone. The roots of the tree. And with nouns in plural, we just add an apostrophe. For example, this is my parents' house. Here are the students' books. Those are the dog's toys. Quite simple, right? Remember, always focus on who has the thing. In English, we use there is and there are to say that something exists or not, or to say that something is present or not. If that something is singular, we say there is. For example, there is a person in the room. There is a car waiting. There is a pencil on the table. There is a notebook in the drawer. And if that something is plural, we say there are. There are apples in the bag. There are children in the playground. There are 2 houses here. There are cats on the sofa. What about negative and questions? We just need to use the magic formulas we've seen before. Let's have a look. There's a doctor on the plane. Affirmative. Is there a doctor on the plane? Question. There isn't a doctor on the plane. Negative. And the same with plural. There are some rooms available. Affirmative. Are there any rooms available? Question. There aren't any rooms available. Negative. Difficult? Confusing? Don't worry, you'll learn how to use it little by little. Sometimes when we use there is and there are, we also say some or any. And when should we use some and any? Okay, this is important. The general rule says that when the sentence is affirmative, we use some. And when the sentence is negative or a question, we use any. For example, are there any children in the classroom? No, there aren't any children in the classroom. There are some children in the playground. Do we need any sugar? No, we don't need any sugar. We have some in the cupboard. Do you have any opera tickets left? No, we don't have any opera tickets left. We have some tickets for the ballet. Let's see some more examples. I can't think of any examples right now. Come on, aren't there any examples you can think of? Yes, there are some examples, but I can't remember now. Well, that will do the trick, I guess.
As Natalie has just said, we usually use any in questions. Usually, not always. There is one case in which we can use some in questions, when we are offering something to someone. For example, do you want some wine? Can I give you some advice? Would you like some biscuits? We use some instead of any because we are offering something and we kind of expect that person to say yes. It's all about politeness.